There are so many amazing benefits to joining breast implant illness support Facebook groups, like receiving support, knowing what to do and how to prepare for your explant, detoxing, finding answers, getting feedback, all the above. But there are a couple of potentially harmful ones that can really negatively impact your physical and emotional and mental health if you're not careful. And those are the ones we're going to talk about today. Hi, it's Christina, the founder of Size Happy and the admin of the best Facebook group on Facebook, Breast Implant Illness, Rejuvenation, and Education with Christina. You can also find me on Instagram. I don't really talk about my Instagram that much at I am Size Happy. I want to start off by saying that if it wasn't for Facebook groups, I do not know where I would be today. Finding out that there were Facebook groups full of women who were going through exactly what I was going through was a lifesaver. There are a lot of really, really good Facebook groups. At the time of this video, if I had to guess, there are probably approximately 400 Facebook groups. So unlike 3 to 4 years ago, right now you have lots of different options. Like first you can find breast implant illness Facebook groups like that support you emotionally. There's some really great ones just for general information about like breast implants, breast implant illness. There's like detox specific breast implant illness Facebook groups. Then you can also find Facebook groups like some plastic surgeons, some explant surgeons have their own community of patients who are going through an explant. So you can find like those Facebook groups. You can also find a Facebook group possibly in your city if you live in a big city. You can find one for your country. If you live in the USA, you can find one for your state. So just put in like breast implant illness California, breast implant illness New Jersey, Illinois, whatever it may be. And there are so many different Facebook groups now with like really specific topics. So like your state, your plastic surgeon, if you want a detox, emotional support, all of that. A lot of women in our community hesitate about talking about this topic because they don't want to come off as being like full of drama or being negative. And I can definitely see that. At one point, I definitely would have thought the same thing. But the older that I get and the longer that I'm in this community, the more important it is for me to bring some things out of the dark and into the light. Not to expose like anybody or anything, but just to really help women who are possibly going through some things. And I'm not here to talk about the groups that might do this the most often or any admins or moderators that make these decisions. I wanted to really create this video just to offer you some strength and some peace and some insight if this has ever happened to you, and prepare you for if this does happen to you and how you can handle it, because getting removed and blocked does happen on a daily basis. So I want to help you avoid that. So yesterday I asked some questions inside of my Facebook group and on my Instagram and inside of a couple other Facebook groups. I asked like, have you ever been removed and blocked from a Facebook group? Did you happen to know why? And did it have any kind of impact on you? And so some of the responses that I got, and I'm gonna look over here. So I got a lot of responses. I would say between like my Instagram and my Facebook group and a couple other Facebook groups that I posted this in, I probably got about 20 to 25 responses. So the most common responses that I got back were like, yes, I was removed and blocked. Some said like, I don't know why, I never found out why. Some women said that they talked about detox too much, or they didn't donate money to the group like the rules said. I don't know what that's about. They mentioned a surgeon that was not on the list. They posted about not healing like fast after their explant. And then quite a few said that they did not know why and they never got a response from the admin of the group. Quite a few women even said that they were blocked when they were at their sickest, and it broke their heart and it made them feel even more alone during that time when they really needed that support and like those answers by being removed and blocked. And of course, Facebook group like admins and moderators, they can run their Facebook groups however they want to. Like there's nothing wrong with that. They have their own rules. They have their own style. So, you know, it's their community and they can do what they want. That doesn't mean it's always right. But if you can't talk about the things that interest you or the things that have been helping you, or like getting some insight on not healing, excuse me, very good after your explant, To me, those are huge red flags. I am not personally down with that type of behavior. In fact, I would consider my group to be like almost completely opposite from some of the big groups out there. So I let my members talk about things that they're using and doing to help them heal and feel better faster, whether it's before or after their explant. Talk about detox. I really don't care if you're selling something as long as it's like ethical and it truly does help you, and it did help you, and you're not just out there trying to make money and it's like a crap product, right? So like I kind of allow some things that other groups might not, and I feel like maybe that could be some of the reason why some people are getting removed and blocked, is because they might assume that other groups allow them to do the same, and they don't. When you're a part of a Facebook group community, you should feel fully supported, safe, empowered to do what you feel is best for you, whether that's like not removing your implants or putting off an explant, whatever you feel like is best for you and your body, without feeling like you're being rushed and forced into doing something or not doing something. You should not feel as like you're walking on eggshells and you're afraid to post something or talk about maybe a different surgeon or a different technique of healing or anything like that. If you are part of a group that is just stressing you out, I would take this time to evaluate whether or not you want to hang around that type of energy anymore. Because I promise you, the environment that you're hanging out in and the people you're hanging out with will impact how well you're going to heal after your explant. I think there's a saying that goes, you can't heal in the same environment you got sick from, something like that. And I mean, that's not necessarily the whole truth when it comes to these Facebook groups, but if you're being stressed out inside of an environment or a community around certain people, it's best to kind of remove yourself from those things and those people for a little bit while you're healing, because that stress will definitely hinder your healing. If you were removed or blocked from a Facebook group without warning and you got no reason why, I know how devastating it can be. I myself was removed and blocked from a couple groups. I forget if it was like right before my explant surgery or like right after my explant surgery. It was like a week or two, either before or after. I can't really remember. It's been over 3 years now. But I just remember feeling like I really needed to go in there and look at some information and to really like get myself prepared. And then I found out I wasn't in the group anymore, and I was devastated. But I was also like really annoyed and pissed off. I'm like, whoa, what did I do? I remember I didn't even really post in there too much. But I just want to say, like, I know exactly what you've been through or what you're going through. And so I just want to offer you this insight. I don't know if it's a protect mechanism for me, but I just like to turn things around into a positive a lot. So it's like, okay, this bad thing happened to me. What can I learn from it? Or what is the universe, or whoever you look up to, trying to teach me? And so I always just say, thank you, universe. Maybe you got me out of a situation I didn't know I was getting myself into, or I was a part of an environment that you know would not be healthy for me, and you just pushed it away from me, right? And although it may have hurt at first, like I can now see, like looking back, like, whoa, that was probably a good thing that happened. Again, like I said in the beginning of this video, there are like 400, if I had to guess, 400-ish Facebook groups out there right now. You're not stuck in the one that you're in that you don't like. You have other options and other communities to join. And quite a few women actually said that they found out like that the smaller communities, which is like a couple thousand members, were like a little bit more intimate, and they felt like a little bit more supported in those groups. So you got options these days. Take it as like they did you a favor. I don't know what's worse. Being gaslighted, is that how you say it? Being gaslighted by a doctor, or getting removed from a Facebook group. I don't know which one's worse. You let me know down in the comments below. And with all of that being said, you know, I can only imagine what it's like to manage like tens of thousands of other women inside of like one place. You know, you get like 30 women inside of one room, and it can get pretty messy sometimes, right? But imagine like tens of thousands of women under one roof. That is a lot to manage. So I can totally understand like why things would happen, or why things would be approached a certain way, for lack of better words. I don't know how to say it. You know, like removing and blocking people without really explaining to them why it would happen, because there's just so much going on, right? So like I can sit back and be like, okay, maybe it's just not realistic to go there and reach out to every person who you're about to remove and block, and reach out to them and just be like, hey, I'm removing you because you've, went against this rule, or you were really mean to this person, or whatever it may be. But my suggestion for that, especially if you're like an admin, is like have a moderator come into your Facebook group, and they are the ones that just specifically reach out to those who are getting removed and blocked. And having like that personal connection, because it is devastating. And those are human beings on the other end, of the screen. So it's not just like, oh, those are my members. Like those are actual human beings with feelings who are going through something really scary. And so you reaching out and just explaining yourself and why you're doing something, I feel like that would go a long way. And maybe some of the miscommunication and resentment and stuff that goes on would be kind of hashed, because you're like, okay, well, I didn't know the rules, or no, it was a misunderstanding, and some things can get worked out. But oftentimes I don't think that happens. It's just like you're removed and blocked, and next thing you know, when you go to log into the Facebook group, it's like not even there. And it's like a shock to your nervous system, right? So, my solution for that would be like, if it was me, I would just have somebody be a moderator, and like, if I know I'm going to remove or block somebody, I'd be like, can you reach out to that person and just let them know why, and like see what happened, and let them know our rules, and maybe even give them a second chance, because I myself have done that in my little small group of 7,400 women at this point, right? It's like I reach out and I say, hey, this is why you're no longer in my group anymore. So I know that there is that balance between like, you just got a huge group and you're just trying to manage so many women, and like, taking things and not doing it the right way. So that is only one topic that I wanted to talk about today. A couple others are, when you're in these groups of thousands of women and you're asking a question, you're going to get a lot of different pieces of advice and opinions and suggestions on how to do things and what to take and so on and so forth. And you got to be even really careful with that as well. A lot of women, they mean well, they're taking the things and they're doing the things, and they're like, this genuinely worked for me. But they don't know like my body and what I'm also taking, what medications I'm taking, like if I have any heart issues or thyroid issues, anything like that. So if you are, given a recommendation on something to take, I think this kind of goes without saying, but I definitely want to say it again, because like, my members' safety and like peace of mind and happiness and health is just super important to me. And so this is important for me to say, but like, do your own research on what they're recommending, whether it's like lymphatic drainage massage or a supplement to take. Like, look into the supplement company, look into like the actual compounds of the supplement. So whether they're herbs or vitamins or whatever it may be, but just do your own research, because it could do more harm than good if you do take something that your body just might have a response to. And then lastly, when you do join a group, just see if that group is public, which means like everybody can look in that group and see photos and see what you're posting and stuff like that. Or if it's private, which means only the members in that group are able to see like your posts and your photos and stuff like that. I'm a part of a public group that I love. I think it's called like breast implant illness research and recovery, something like that. But it's a public group and I love it. It's so active, it's so supportive. And then some members are like, whoa, I didn't know this was a public group, right? So just go look in the groups that you're in right now. Just make sure some of them are public, or some of them are private. See which ones are public. Doesn't mean that you have to leave them because they're public. I feel like there should be some public groups out there just so the information can get out there more. And, I might not know what to look for, but if I come across this public group and I'm able to like look in there and see, what members are talking about, that could be very eye-opening and it could actually help somebody. So Facebook groups are amazing. They're so supportive. But just read the rules before you join. Look to see whether it's public or private, and then definitely take everybody's suggestions with a grain of salt. You know, if it wasn't for me getting removed out of a couple of Facebook groups, I wouldn't have started my own. So for that alone, I am thankful. My motto inside of my Facebook group is, if it's going to help another woman heal and feel better, you better share it. And I hope this was insightful. Go ahead and share whatever you'd like to share with me down below in the comments, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!